Hey guys, welcome back to the Middle Sister podcast where we talk about anything and everything and how we're all just figuring it out. Today I have my lovely friend Emma to join me on today's talk. This is her first podcast episode with me, so be mindful, be kind, be patient. Thank you. Today we're going to get into a lot of things that I've been dealing with, especially with senior year and how many people in this world just suck. Really, they really suck. So we're going to be talking about basically how actions are speak louder than words. That's what we're going to be talking about. We're going to go over everything that we've experienced in relationships, friendships, all the ups and downs, and how we dealt with them, how we coped, how we acted out, and whether we forgive or not. So let's get right into it. So, what is your first one on top three horror movies with around this topic? What would be your number one?
Thing one and thing two.
Thing one and thing two. I've heard this before. Okay, let's debrief all of this that happened and how she dealt with it. Okay, how did you meet these girls?
School.
Okay, so you met them at school. Did you have like multiple classes together or just like one class?
So originally I had met thing one because like my teacher just kind of sat her right next to me.
And dude, I hate when teachers do that. When they just sit
Yeah.
you next to somebody that you don't know. It's just like, who?
'Cause
Like,
she
what do
had
I
came-
say?
Yeah, she had came a couple months after school had already started.
Right.
So like I had felt a little bad because I know
Uh-huh.
what that feels like. So I just kind of started talking to her, and then literally that night is when I found out that Matt passed away. So then I didn't show up to school for like 3 weeks. And then when I came back to school, like she had asked why I was gone for so long. She thought I had left.
Right.
And I cracked like a dark humor joke.
Right.
So that's kind of when we clicked. Was I was like,
As
oh,
one
like,
would.
you
As one
know,
would.
this chick is just like me. And like,
Right.
you know, yes, we had our like
Differences.
yeah, towards the end, but when we had first became friends and like first became like tight like that, I kind of felt like we were the same person but in like different fonts, I guess you could say.
Right.
So me and her had became really close. And then I believe it was the following school year, my 11th grade year,
Right.
was when Thing 2 popped in the picture.
Uh-huh.
But Thing 2 popped in the picture because of another girl. She tried to tell Thing 2 that I didn't like her because she was mixed and she looked stuck up.
So she was trying to like ping you as like racist, basically?
Yes, but I had informed her at the time. I was like, my favorite sibling is literally mixed. I was like, my man at the time, mixed. So I was like, I'm not one to hate on you because you're Mexican. I was like, okay, girl, like. So then once we cleared that up, that's when Thing 2 became in the picture.
Right.
And that's when, like, we all became really close.
That's when you guys all got really tight.
Yes.
Right. So then this third girl came in.
Yes, H. And at first, okay, so there's N and there's H. N was the one that I was telling you that had told Thing 2 that I didn't like her because she was mixed.
Okay.
Which, mind you, my first impression on Thing 2 was actually funny because she didn't even know me in Thing 1, and we were sitting in the back of the class, like on the floor.
Uh-huh.
And she comes walking over and she's like, howdy, y'all, my name's so and so, right?
Ew.
And like a very country accent. So
Oh.
we in Thing 1 start laughing so hard.
We started laughing so hard. Yep.
Yeah. And so, mind you, like, I didn't have any negative impressions. Like, I'm a firm believer that if I'm going to have an opinion about it, about someone, I'm going to form that on my own.
Correct, right.
So, yeah, so H hops in the picture, right?
Right.
And H and Thing 1 used to go to middle school together.
Oh, so they were like two peas in a pod.
No.
Oh.
No.
Oh.
Yeah. But it wasn't like they hated each other. They just had their differences because of middle school. So
Okay.
it eventually was like a whole group of us in school. So it was
Right.
me, Thing 1, Thing 2, H, M, and then her boyfriend, whatnot, right?
Right.
So we originally, the first time we fell out was because thing one and thing two and M were trying to start with stuff with H, but mind you, at this point, like H didn't do anything. Like, and I was over at H's house for her birthday.
Right.
So this was the next day, and I see everybody else was posting on their notes, and they were like hater notes, like, and so I had texted them, and I was like, "What's going on?" And so thing one was like, "Oh, you already know, like I've never liked her, yada yada yada."
Right.
And thing two has the audacity to be like, "Well, I just feel like she's really been copying me because all of a sudden she likes Hello Kitty."
Oh my gosh, Hello Kitty is a cartoon character that's versatile for everyone.
Yes, I'm like, what female doesn't like Hello Kitty? I'm like, let's be so for real. And so obviously I'm gonna defend H because I don't see where she's in the wrong.
Right.
And so we had kind of fallen out. Thing one and thing two made it clear that they didn't have an issue with me. They had an issue with H. So eventually I leave that school and I start going to a different school. And then me and H fell out because H ended up being a complete weirdo. Yeah.
The stories I've heard about this girl H, guys,
Yeah.
no,
Like
it's bad. It's really bad.
one time we went to the mall and this dude had called me over because H's dad was getting his shoes cleaned. And this dude called me over and he's like, "Oh, like, could I get your number? Could I get your Instagram?" And I said, "Yeah." And as we're walking away, she's like, "Oh, the only reason that he asked you for your socials was because I didn't get ready today." And I was like,
Oh, no, I
like,
hate that. I hate that. I hate when like you have a friend that tries to like outdo you in every sort of way.
yeah, and mind you, we were both in the same thing. Like, we were both in just two plain regular t-shirts and
No,
flare
like
jeans.
stop. Cause like is she one of those girls that is like when you go out you're like, oh, we're gonna dress bummy. She tries to dress like nice bummy. Is she like one of those girls?
Not necessarily, but if anybody else around her is getting attention from men, that's when she kind of starts putting the girls down because the guys didn't talk to her.
Oh, so she's like a pick me.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh no. See, that's one thing I can't stand is pick me's because they're like a prime example. Like they won't do anything, but they'll say a lot of stuff. Like I've encountered so many pick me's that were like, "Oh, I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that," and you're just mad because I'm prettier than you. And then it's like when you want to go and like confront them, they're like, "I never said that. Like you're just mad at me. Like this is so one sided. Like girl, you're the one who started it.
Yes.
You're the one who started it. Like, why are you over here, like, being the victim? This is crazy."
Yes. And then my main thing with her was she would talk so much crap about all of her other friends that I got to the point that I would sit there and I'd be like, well, I'm not special, so I'm sure she's out here telling other people, like she's talking crap about me to other people, just like
Right.
she's doing with her other friends. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then also when we arrived to like the new school, I didn't go maybe until like a month or two after her.
Right.
And come to
Oh, are
find
you
out,
talking about the school you went to downtown?
yeah,
Oh, you guys went there together?
yeah,
Oh my god, I didn't know that.
yeah.
Oh
And
my
so
god.
come to find out, she was telling everybody there because she was getting into issues with other people, and she'd be like, "Oh, just wait till my friend comes. Like she'll handle it for me."
Ew.
Girl,
So she's
no.
like throwing you under the bus to protect her. That's crazy.
Yeah, but mind you, I had left uh the first school because like it wasn't even just the girl issue, but it was also the drama with the twins.
Right.
Because like they were like literally harassing me and thing one at that point.
Right.
So I was going to this new school in the mind of
She doesn't care to talk about
Yeah.
it. She doesn't care.
I don't care to like get into any type of drama. Like I just wanted to come to the school, do my schoolwork, and not be in any sort of drama. And she knew that. She knew that. And so then she got me into drama with girls I didn't even know, but I kind of just told them like,
Oh no, see, I hate that.
yeah, I kind of just told them like I'm my own person. I don't know you guys. I don't care about what issues you have with H, right?
Exactly.
And so pretty much it got to the point like I would just go do my schoolwork and leave. But then I ended up distancing myself
Right.
from H because I wasn't trying to be in no type of drama, none of that. And I just realized that no matter what type of situation we were in, it was always something new. And so then at this point, this is what caused me and H's falling out. Was she and her brother and like her mom and obviously they had to go to, I believe it was Texas, for like a funeral or something.
Right.
And her mom had asked me to house sit because she has dogs, and so she needed her dogs let out, fed, whatnot.
Right.
So I would go over there before work, and I would go let the dogs out, feed the dogs, feed the cats, whatnot. And so while I was there, she would tell me like, oh, you know, make yourself at home, whatnot, because at this point, me and her were really close. And mind you, I didn't touch none of her things except for some setting spraying once because I had ran out of my own. And then like that was that. Like, and her clothes were in the dryer at one point, so I had to put them in her room, but she didn't have anywhere on her bed. And I'm sorry, but I'm not your maid. Like, I'm not gonna sit there and hang your clothes up for you, fold your clothes, like, especially because I don't know if you're picky. I don't know if you like certain things in certain spots. You know what I mean? So I had just set them on her floor, and it wasn't like her floor was dirty. It's just carpet.
Right.
So eventually they had came back into town, and thing one and thing two had hit me up, talking about like, hey, like we have a question for you, whatnot, and I was like, what's up? And pretty much H was sitting there telling thing one and thing two that I had stolen a bunch of stuff from her.
Oh no,
and
girl.
I was like, oh girl, that's where you had me messed up, because at this point I had my own job. I was like, I don't need to steal anything from you. I'm like, if I want something, I will go buy it. Like, I wasn't paying bills, none of that. The most I was doing was buying dog food for Kobo.
Right.
So I was like, so I had texted her myself, and I was like, why am I hearing that you're telling other girls that I stole from you? And she texted me back and was like, I never said that. So automatically, I'm gonna screenshot that. And
so she's starting drama and then playing the victim.
Yes.
Oh my god.
So I screenshotted it and I sent it to thing one and thing two. And so at this point, I'm like, bro, what are we doing? Like, there's no need for all of this.
Right.
So she was pretty much lying to thing one and thing two, and then turning back and lying to me. So then we kind of started arguing a little bit, just because I was like, that's kind of weird. Like, you know, so eventually after our argument, we had fallen out, obviously. Like, so at this point, like, I kind of started talking to thing one and thing two again, because I never really had an issue with them, but I did think it was odd that they were trying to start something with somebody when they didn't even do nothing. You know what I mean?
Right.
So then the falling out with thing one and thing two. Oh. So we had started to kind of get close again, and at this point, me and thing two were staying with thing one's mama. And we got invited to a trip to Mexico. And who's going to turn down a free trip to Mexico? Unfortunately, not me.
Right.
Not me.
As one wouldn't.
Yeah. And so, you know, obviously all three of us were super excited. We're going to stores, buying new swimsuits, you know, all of this. And, you know, we're planning what we're going to do there, you know, going to the beach, whatnot. And so, you know, that was in October.
Yeah. It was pretty late into the year, I remember.
Yeah. And so, you know, flash forward to my birthday. Or like a little bit before my birthday. I always love my birthday, but I hate it every year when the day actually comes.
Right.
And so I'm telling them like, oh, I'm super excited. Like, I'm going to be 19. Like, you know, obviously I don't partake in things that I used to, but I still learn to have fun sober.
Right.
And so I'm like, oh, you know, I'm telling them what I want to do. Right. And so at this point, we were over with Michael's Thea, which I don't care to say his name. Like, I'm gonna give a fuck. And so
for context, Michael is her boyfriend. That's who that is.
Love that man. And so we were staying with his Thea at this point. And what's it called? So that morning, I had thing one come drop something off for me. And so while she was over there, I had asked her, because your mom wasn't awake at this time. So my original plan was to go see your mom because she was on the same side of town, and then go see my mom, and then go see everybody else.
Right.
But your mom wasn't awake, so I figured I would just see her when I'm on my way home.
Right.
So I had asked her, I'm like, oh, can you just take me to my mom's now? And she was like, yeah. Tell me why. My man filled up her gas tank. Fully. Fully. Okay. So there
Wait.
was,
Michael filled up her gas tank?
yeah, because we
Wait.
had felt bad that she drove from the south side to the east side and then back to the south side.
Whose gas tank?
Thing once.
Oh.
So he had literally filled up her gas tank because she had the car.
Right.
So there was really nothing she could complain about. So she drives me to my mom's house, which, mind you, for context, she lives 2 minutes from my mom, if that, a minute and a half.
Right.
Okay.
She lives 2 minutes from you.
Yes.
Was she complaining about driving?
I found this out after the fact.
Oh God.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm just giving you the rundown of what actually happened on my birthday.
Okay, yeah, keep going.
So she drives me to my mom's.
Okay.
And so, for reference, my mom's house is here. You go down the street and turn right, and there's her house. And then if you go down the street and turn left, there's the Spectrum. And the Spectrum is just a place with like a bunch of stores. It's kind of like an outside mall, I guess you could say. Like,
right.
So I'm at my mom's and I'm chilling. And so at this point, thing one was supposed to go pick up thing two. And then we're just gonna call him G. Okay. G was just gonna bus to like the park because we were all supposed to meet up at the park. And again, for reference, my mom's house, you drive halfway the park. Okay. So we were originally supposed to meet at the park at 1, but because G's bus was gonna get there at 12:45, both me and G had went.
So you and G
had asked thing one if she could just,
go early
at the park at 12:45. That's 15 minutes earlier.
Right.
And she says yes.
Okay.
So we all had each other on Life 360. So at this point, I see that she's right at the corner of the park, which is
it's the park in your neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Which is where Beverage Barn is. And so, because I had seen that she went to pick up thing 2, and then she was coming back, and I seen that she was at Beverage Barn. So I'm thinking she's just gonna go to the park from there, and I'll meet her there.
Right.
Wrong.
Oh.
I see that she starts going back the other way, and now mind you, thing 2 lived 12-15 minutes away, depending on traffic.
Right.
So at this point, mind you, it's already like 1:15. And so G walks to my house, and from the park to my house, it is like a 20-minute walk. So they were already like 20 minutes late. And so I texted them and I'm like, where are you guys going? Like, we were supposed to be at the park dang near 30 minutes ago.
Right.
And so she's like trying to explain to me how thing 2's uncle went to go get them a bottle, but how the dude inside Beverage Barn kind of was like, oh, like, I know you're getting it for thing 1 and thing 2. Mind you, he still sold it to the uncle. So it's like, it's not like the dude cared.
Right.
So the uncle was pretty much being like, oh, no, I'll like give it to you when we go back to thing 2's house.
Right.
Mind you, said uncle came in a separate car. It wasn't like they had to go drop the uncle off. Mm-hmm. So at this point, I'm a little bit salty because I'm like, you guys are already how long late, and mind you, they didn't even need a bottle. I don't.
Right, they're just doing unnecessary things on your birthday.
I don't drink, and it's like not even that. You guys could have done that yesterday or earlier in the day while I was still at my mom's. And so I was like, I put it past them. I was like, oh well, whatever. So we all are at the park at this point, and I tell them like, oh, I want to go to Spectrum because my man had promised me a shopping spree for my birthday. So obviously, who's gonna turn that down? Not I.
Right.
So we're at Spectrum at this point, and she pulls up to the Target. And so we're in the Target, and I'm telling them that I needed to find like saline wound wash for my septum because I just got it pierced the night before, and I had nothing to clean it with.
Right.
So I go and I ask one of the workers, I'm like, hey, like, where would this be? And so she starts taking us, and, Michael and G are following. Thing 1 and thing 2 are nowhere to be found. And I'm like, okay, whatever. So then we go, after I pick that up, we go back to the makeup section, and then there. So then I tell them, oh, I also want to grab something for my mom.
Right.
And so we go right down the other aisle to go look for it. And again, Michael and G are right by me. We go back, like, to the makeup section, and they are nowhere. So we're like, okay,
Like, why are they disappearing on you on your birthday? Like, how can they say they're gonna hang out with you and then spend the whole time doing everything but hang out with you?
yeah. And mind you, like, they had promised me that I was gonna have a good birthday and that we were all gonna have fun and
Oh
all
no,
hang
see, this is
out.
why I don't make promises, because people like they just do stuff like that and it's so annoying.
Yeah. And so we check out, and G realizes that thing one still has his Nick. And so we try calling both thing one and thing two, and neither one of them answer. And so
Right.
at this point, we're like, okay, weird. We go back into the store, and eventually we find them, and G yells out thing one's name. And they like turn around and they're like, oh. And so they were like, oh, we were just coming to look for you. No, they were literally stopped looking in an aisle. So I put it past them. I'm like, okay, whatever. So then I was like, I want to go to Ross. And
Right.
so we go to the Ross, but mind you, I had no problem walking. It's not that far of a walk. Like, all the stores are right next to each other. But
There's a spectrum, right?
yeah.
Right.
So thing one starts heading to the car. So I'm thinking, oh, we're just going to drive right across the street. Like, no big deal.
Right.
So at this point, I'm in Ross. And thing one and thing two say that they're going to go back to Target to pick up some pads. And I was like, okay, whatever. So I only found one thing that I liked, but the line was so long that I was like, no, I don't like that much. So we walk out and they're just chilling in the car. So I was like, okay, whatever. So then at this point, we go to pull up to this thrift store that's right there. And mind you, thing one spent $30 on the bottle and proceeds to ask me if I can ask my man to buy them food.
Hell no.
So I tell her, well, at this point I didn't snap, but I did kind of have an attitude.
Right.
And I was like, well, what happened to all your money? She's like, oh, I left it at home. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, but you're gonna have to pay him back.
That's her fault that she left her money at home. See, oh no, see, I would have been like, okay, it looks like you're starving because you left your money at home and like you knew we had plans.
Yeah, so at this point, she kind of caught an attitude with me, and she was like, whatever, like, I'll just go pick up the money. And I'm like, okay, bet.
Right.
And so,
as you should, go pick up your money.
So me and my boyfriend, we go into the thrift store. I get like 5 things, and I come out to show them. The only one paying attention was G, and I was like, okay. Mind you, before this, me and G were never really close. Like, we just kind of hung out when thing one was in the picture.
Right.
So then I put those clothes in the car, and we go to the shoe store, but we didn't have to drive there. It was right next to the thrift shop. Thrift store. Yeah.
Thrift store.
So we go into the shoe store. I couldn't find anything that I liked. So then we leave and we go to the park. Or, well, no, we went to go pick up thing one's money so that way she could go get food. And then that's when we went to the park. And so at this point, we're kind of just chilling. It's like maybe like 2:30. Like, we were really only there for like an hour and a half. And so as we're chilling, I asked them, because my mom was going to be making me like a dinner. So I asked them, I'm like, oh, mind you, I was only looking at thing one because I can't look at 3 people at once. So I'm like pretty much asking thing one, thing two, and G, like, hey, do you guys want to come to my mom's for dinner? And so, like, when I had asked this, we had already been at the park for like an hour. So at this point, it's like 4:30.
Right.
3:30, 4:30. And my mom was going to have dinner done by 5. And so that's when thing one was like, oh, well, I was actually going to go to thing two's house. And I kind of thought it was weird because thing two is with us. Like, why would you go all the way back to her house just to go hang out, right?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, whatever. So then at this point, I was already so irritated. I was like, bro.
Right. I'd be irritated too. Because, like, at that point, it's like they're telling you that they're going to hang out with you and give you a good birthday. And then they show up and do everything but that. And that's exactly the problem. And what we're talking about is them saying they're doing something and they're doing the complete opposite.
Yeah. And so then at this point, like, I was already so irritated. I was like, bro, F this, pretty much.
Literally.
And so, then I asked, I'm like, oh, can we just go to my mom's best friend's house, which is her mom.
Right.
Because
we love my mom.
Yes. Love that lady.
Shout out my mommy. Love you. Love you. You're
I
the
would say
best.
clock that, but
Clock it. Clock it.
and so at this point, again, I'm fed up with the day. I just want to go see her mom, her dad, and go home.
Right.
And so
I remember this day because when you came to my house, you were already there. And at the time, I was still with my ex boyfriend, Baker. And I was at his house. And I'm pretty sure I had spent the night. And I was coming back. And you guys were already there. And I was like,
yeah.
oh my gosh, because I remember walking in, you were like livid, but I also remember walking in and you were in like this skirt and like this short jacket, and I was like, oh my god, Emma, I've never seen you look this way. Yeah. And then I remember you telling me the whole thing, and I kept telling you, like, no, those girls are weird, like, stop being friends with them. Like, I told you from the jump they were weird, because I remember when you first met them, I was telling you, I was like, those girls are weird, I don't know. And then this all came about.
Yeah, and so at this point, I asked Thing1 if I can drive, and she's like, "Yeah, down the street," and I'm like, "Okay, well, never mind. Like, there's no point in that."
Right.
And so G hops in, and he's like, "Oh, well, it's her birthday. Like, just let her drive."
Right.
And so I made it clear that her mom's house was a good 20-25 minutes away. And so she was a-okay with that. She was literally the one giving me the directions.
Right.
And so I go and I drive to her mom's house, and me and my boyfriend, we get out, whatnot. And I go over there, I'm chilling, you know, and eventually I leave and we go back to his tia's house. And so the next day I wake up and I was sick, so sick. And the only one to check up on me was G. And I was like, it made me think. I'm like, well, me and G were never close like that. Like, so for
Right.
him to be the only one to actually be like, hey, girl, like, you good? And mind you, he was like,
Exactly.
let me know if you need anything. I'll get you cough medicine, cough drops, like whatever you need.
Right.
Don't be afraid to ask me. But at this point, I already had the medicine,
Right.
the electrolytes, whatnot.
Yeah.
And so
that's another thing. Is like there's bad people who like don't do what they're saying, and then there's good people that like never said they're gonna do anything and they show up either way. But there is good people out there, and G is one of those people for her. He was the first to check up on her when they weren't really close. And there's pros and cons to these people, and that is one of the good people in these stories.
Yeah. And so at this point, like, I had gotten over my sickness. It had been like a week since my birthday, and at this point, I had not heard from Thing1 or Thing2 at all. Not a text message, nothing. And so I'm over at my boyfriend's mom's house, and me and G end up calling because we had been calling dang near every day.
Right.
And so eventually I started explaining to him how I felt about my birthday, and I asked him, like, am I in the wrong for feeling like they were acting weird? He's like, no, like, I was peeping everything that they were doing too, like, and it was your birthday, you know what I mean? He's like, at the end of the day, sometimes we don't like to do certain things, but if it's somebody you care about, like their birthday, like, just suck it up for those couple hours. Like, right. It's not gonna kill you.
Exactly.
And so I'm like, you know what, you're right. And so the reason that I didn't really have the courage originally to say something to them was because I kind of felt like when they would argue, Thing1 would come to me and be like, oh, I wish Thing2 would just tell me if I made her feel some type of way, because that way we could talk about it. That's like what a true friendship is. So I kind of had that expectation that that's how they were going to react towards me. Was, right. Oh, we could talk about it. Like, if I made you feel this way, sorry. Like, right. What not? Wrong. So I made a group chat, and it was just me, Thing1, and Thing2. And I sent them like a paragraph explaining how I felt, and how I felt like that they couldn't even be bothered on my birthday. Right. And so they kind of just off the bat start getting mad. And at this point, me and G are still on the phone. And so he was kind of curious as to what's going on. So I added him into the group chat, but he never said anything. He was just there reading it. Right. And so at one point, G lets me go because Thing1 and Thing2 were calling him. And so then maybe a couple minutes later, he calls me back to let me know that Thing2 was sitting there talking about some F this B word. And I was like, oh, girl. Okay. And so
Emotional damage.
Yeah, and so I was like, oh, what a weirdo. Like, mind you, I
Right.
wasn't disrespectful. I simply let them know how, for one, they were already late to my birthday. Like, I let that slide. For two,
Right.
they only came into one store with me, and mind
Right.
you, they ran off together. Like,
Exactly.
and then for three, how they couldn't be bothered to come to my birthday dinner
Right.
and whatnot. Like, I just thought the whole situation was weird. And
They were just being off-putting entirely.
yeah, it's like when you could feel somebody's vibes. Like, you could feel that, like, the whole
Exactly.
vibe was off.
Yeah.
And so I was like, okay, like, weird, but whatever.
Right.
So then, obviously, thing one sides with thing two. So, it was just kind of that. Like, I guess you could say that's where the friendship really ended. But come to find out from G, because again, me and G were never close. So G didn't really know me like that and whatnot. But come to find out from G, when we went to Mexico, thing one was sitting there telling like G and thing two how she didn't want me there, and that I was weird because apparently her nana was like favoriting me, which that was never the case. It was just I wasn't disrespectful to her nana. There was times where thing two was disrespectful to things one nana, and obviously thing one was disrespectful to her own nana. But it's I'm staying in your house, like I'm over here all the time, like I'm gonna do the least that you asked me to, which is clean up after
Right.
myself. Mind you, that's the only thing she asked us to do, was clean up after ourselves and just to
Exactly.
be quiet after 10 o'clock. That way,
She could go to sleep.
yeah, her and her boyfriend could go to sleep. And so obviously, like, I always followed her rules. Like, I was never disrespectful. Like, so I didn't really see any type of favoritism. Like,
Right.
even when it came, like, I guess thing one was telling G that I was being favoritized in Mexico, and I was like, that didn't make sense because, mind you, she gave us all the same amount of cash to spend. You know, when we would do an activity, like we all got henna tattoos, and her nana was the one who paid for it. Like, um, when we all went on the boat, like it wasn't like we had to pay out of pocket for that. Like, none of that.
Right.
I will say the only thing her nana did for me that I guess you could say was like extra was her nana all bought us one thing that we really wanted, but we didn't want to spend our own money on. So she bought thing two a Hello Kitty necklace. She bought thing one a Cheshire Cat pipe, and then she bought me like this little green ring. And so the only one thing that she did get for me, I guess you could say, that was extra was like a little turtle keychain, because all the ones that I was finding, they were kind of just one solid color, like, and I didn't like them.
Right.
And I was explaining to her kind of what my vision was for what I wanted. So when we were at the shops, me, thing one and thing two had went off alone, and thing one's nana was in the shops and she spotted one, but obviously I wasn't with her for her to be like, oh, here, and because I would have paid for it.
Right.
So she had just bought
She
it
just
really quick.
found it and
because
bought
she
it.
knew like I was on the look for something like that.
Right.
Mind you, it was probably not even like 100 pesos. Like, it was cheap. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
And that was it. And mind you, like, I don't drink, and so realistically, like, if we were going based off like what's the word? Based off that logic, they had gotten all these drinks, over and over. I don't drink, so it's like, realistically, I could have sat there and been like, oh, well, you're not spoiling you guys because I'm not getting something you guys are. You know what I mean? But that's not
Right.
how I thought about it.
Exactly.
Um, and so just moral of the story, whole time I guess that they were just sitting there talking crap about me, like behind my back, saying stuff that I was like, okay. Um, yeah, and so it was just this big whole ordeal. And again, like, they would always tell me that they're gonna do stuff and never do it. And so eventually, like, I just quit that friendship because I realized that I'd rather have two true friends who do keep their words at the end of the day and
Exactly.
actually care, rather than a group of friends that
Don't care at all.
that are really
Right.
just weirdos that just sit there and talk about each other behind their backs.
Exactly. That's how I felt like when I was going through my whole ordeal with Isabel and Baker. that's how I was feeling about everything, because I felt like for me to lose the two biggest people that were in my life at the time, I still felt like it wasn't that big of a deal for me, because those people didn't show me that they were really there as much as the other people who I wasn't hanging out with that were there for me.
Yeah.
Like, I had you, and you, like, we would always be on and off talking, but if I needed something or I was reaching out, you would always answer, whether it was an hour later or a day later. You still made sure you were there for me when you could be. But with them, it was always like I had to be with them every second of every day, and everything I did was just wrong all the time. And it was just like weird, because they would say one thing but then do another. Like with Baker, everything in that relationship was, I want to take care of you. I don't want you to work. I don't want you to drive. I want to do everything for you. But when it came to, oh, I want to go to the mall. Oh, I want to get a coffee. Oh, I'm hungry. I want Sonic. It was, do you have money for that? Do you have time for that? Are you sure you want to go do that? Like, yes, I want to go out. I want to get out of the house, bro. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm so confused, because it was like, to me, how can you sit there in a relationship and say that you want to take care of your girlfriend, but then when I say, oh, I want a $7 coffee out of the $50 you made in one DoorDash, which you didn't even make enough of, it's not that big a deal. You could have just been like, hey, I can go get you the coffee. But it was, do you have money for that? And I have to call my mom asking for money because I want something. But he's right there and he wants to provide for me, but he can't do it. Like, that's just ridiculous to me.
Yeah.
And then Isabel was the same way. Like, everything with her when,
That's nice.
yeah, everything with her when we were having our falling out was just, well, you didn't pay attention to me and you didn't care and you didn't ask about my life. But every time she came to me and was telling me that I was the one doing something wrong, I would take the time out of my day to make sure I was doing something right in that friendship, to make her feel like she was like a part of the friendship and it wasn't just one sided. Like,
Yeah.
so to me, it was like, how can you say one thing, but I'm the one that's like doing the right thing and you're not? Like, I don't understand. Like, I just don't understand people like that. It's just completely weird. Have you ever like had like, is there a relationship in your top 3 horror movies that has that like interpretation at all?
Most definitely.
So do you, let's debrief that. What's going on here?
So for one, Jeff was a weirdo right off the bat because I
Oh,
was not
right.
18 yet.
Oh, right. We're
Yeah.
starting off strong. Okay.
Yeah,
Right.
But definitely, I was colorblind to those red flags for sure.
Did you think they were green or did you think they were like yellow? Did you think there were more warnings that you could just like push
Well,
aside?
at the point I was 17 and I felt like I wanted to grow up so fast, so I felt
Right.
like, oh, getting with a 21-year-old, I'll feel so grown.
Yeah. That's not how that works. Don't do that, guys. Don't do that. Don't follow in her footsteps.
Yeah. So, yeah. So for one, I feel like I jumped straight into the relationship with Jeff.
Right.
This is gonna sound really horrible to me, but at the time I was talking to my current boyfriend. We've been talking since 2024, but he never made a move. Was never, oh, let's go out and do this. Oh, let's actually meet each other. None of that.
Oh, you guys hadn't met?
No. It
Oh,
was just
really?
all on the phone, all on FaceTime. Like, I did know that he was an actual person living in.
Wait, so did you guys meet online?
So I had seen that he had added me one day.
On Instagram?
Yes.
Oh,
and
okay.
Thing 2 was actually friends with him. And so I asked her, I'm like, hey, this isn't just like a weird stranger, right? She's like, no, I went to school with him.
Okay.
And I was like, oh, okay. And then I also, his location was on Snapchat, so I could see that he actually did live out here.
Turn that ghost mode on, guys.
Yeah.
Don't let people stalk you.
Yeah. So we were just kind of talking, like I was just always talking for like a year straight.
Right.
Never.
Was it like, did you feel like you were in like a book slow burn that you just wanted to end?
No, I was actually very interested in him, but I was like, dang, like, I thought, we'd be sitting there flirting, at least I thought.
So it was a slow burn that you wanted to end?
Yeah, but like...
You just said no!
Oh, sorry.
Okay, so yes it is.
Yeah, but he would never be like, oh, hey, like, we should go do this one day, like, or, oh, let's see each other, let's meet each other. Like, it was none of that. it was just all FaceTime, always on the phone, like.
I'm listening.
So I did kind of get a little bored. And so at this point, I had met Jeff, but I was low key really still hung up on my current boyfriend.
Okay.
Like, dang.
So you were talking to Michael, and then it was so slow burn that you were like, oh my gosh, he's making me mad. And you met Jeff and then decided to pursue Jeff because you felt like everything with Michael wasn't going anywhere.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I thought
Right.
that I was sitting here.
Just want to
thinking,
clarify
like,
for my honey crew.
Yeah, so pretty much I thought that Michael was not interested in me because I would sit there and be like, oh, like we're totally flirting right now, and then like it never became anything more.
Do you feel like the slow burn you were having with Michael at the time was like the slow burn that I was having with Build-A-Bear?
Yeah.
Dude, no, I hated that. I hated that with Build-A-Bear, honestly.
For a straight year.
Dude, did I tell you I clocked Build-A-Bear's tea?
No. Wait.
Dude, literally, so my last day of school, Friday, this is another people saying one thing and not doing another. There's this kid in my AP government class, and I don't know if he's listening to this yet. I know he took the podcast from me so he could listen to it. I don't know if he'll figure out this is him, but I did like just say it was him. But okay. Anyways, there's this guy in my AP government class. We're calling him Builder-Bear, and I was really interested in this guy, and I was trying to like make moves with him and like I physically told this guy like in actual words that I liked him and wanted to pursue something. And every time I would say something to him about it, he'd be like, oh well, I'm so glad you understand that, like I'm just not ready for that, and I'm just glad you understand like where I stand. Like, okay, so you want to say that, but then when we're in class you want to yap your jaw to me and bicker with me as if we're flirting, but then you want to say that you're basically not interested. Like, don't make me mad, because the last day, fourth period, I went in there. Mind you, I had removed myself from this whole situation because after I kept telling him that I was interested in him and he wasn't like making any moves, I was like, okay, you know what? My attention and my everything that I can bring to the table is not being valued here. So let me just take a step back and focus on something else. So I removed myself from the equation. And my last day of school, when I went into fourth period, this man was yapping his freaking jaws to me, Emma. I kid you not. Because like I'm a firm believer that when I'm talking to a guy or when I'm with a guy, I'm not gonna like ask them questions about their life. I feel like if they want to tell me, they'll just tell me. Yeah. They're not gonna like make an effort to like hide it. They're gonna want to tell me because they want me to know, right? And so I did not say anything to this man, right? And he's sitting next to me and he goes, I'm just gonna have so much time on my hands after this because we're not gonna be in school. Like, I just don't know what to do with myself. And then starts yapping and yapping and yapping to me about his business that he started. And then he starts pulling out his phone and showing me this app that he has that's like a community for him to learn. The whole period, he was talking to me. And then I was telling him that my mom didn't believe that he had facial hair because all of the pictures that I was showing her in the school yearbook of him, he didn't have his facial hair yet. And so he was like, oh, she doesn't believe that I have facial hair. And so he proceeds to send me 3 pictures on Instagram of him with his facial hair. And I'm like, are you so dead serious with me right now? Like, can you please, like, your actions are not matching your words, and like this is where I'm confused. Like, why are you being this way? Like, genuinely, like the slow burn is not slow burning anymore. Like, I like stop. And then when he wrote in my yearbook, he was calling me a scaredy cat, right? Because that's my nickname on Instagram, because he calls me scaredy cat and I would call him friendly monster, right? And so he was calling me scaredy cat and then signed it friendly monster. And then the next day when we did our white t-shirt signing day, where all the seniors had to wear white t-shirts and get it signed by their friends, he wrote on my back, not so scared anymore. Like, boy, if I don't go beat you up right now, like, we're gonna fight. And if you're listening to this, I hope you know that the next time I see you on the street, I'm winding it up with you, Builder-Bear, okay?
Me too.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but me too.
Yeah. Yeah. The sad thing is like, if I were to like playfully swing on him, if I was gonna fight him, I'd have to like swing up because he's so much taller than me. Because he's 6'1".
At least this one you don't.
I know I can just bam.
Yeah.
Yeah. Put him in his place real quick. Okay. Anyways, continue with this Jeff story. So when did you meet Jeff?
If I'm not wrong.
Because you were 17 when you met him?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. And then you met him through. Didn't you meet him through H? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just part of the weird family, for real.
Yeah.
Do you feel like they were like a bad version of the Addams family? Or is that like too far of a comparison?
I fear they would be the type to like be on Epstein Island.
Oh,
Mhm.
right. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay, right. Did you see that in New York they opened up like a whole library of the Epstein files for people to read? Like
We're going to New York.
like all like 3,000 files in books, and they put them like in books, and there's like 300 like 70 something.
We're going to New York.
Dude, yes. Like I want to go read. Like I genuinely like it's cases like that like makes me want to get into psychology. Like I genuinely want to know what's wrong with his brain. Like what wires in his brain are like wired differently to like do the things that he did.
This might sound weird, but I don't mean it in a weird way. Like if I could switch bodies with like a serial killer or just a serial weirdo
Literally.
in general for one day, I would. Not to go out and kill nobody, but
If I could switch mine for the serial killer, I
Yeah.
think it would be John Wayne Gacy, because he's like the one serial killer that I'm obsessed with for some reason. But I genuinely like want to know what happened in those 60 hours of footage that was recorded when he was being interviewed, because like how does somebody talk for 60 hours and not give themselves up for so long in between that time?
yeah.
Like
Me-
I just want to know how the brain works.
Personally, it would probably be Ted Bundy, just because kind of
Did you
along
watch
those
all of the tapes of
lines.
that one?
Yeah.
I couldn't.
And-
I felt like he was just taking too long to confess and like drawing it out.
Well, yeah, that's why I would love to be able to have his like brain for a day, just
Right.
because I want to know how one man can influence so many people just by words.
Right. Like how does somebody have that much like charisma to them?
Yeah.
Right.
Like it's just always like bugged my
Oh
brain.
my god, I just realized both of our classes have patterns on them.
Yeah.
Oh
mine
my
are low-key,
gosh.
can get the ear too.
Guys, look.
Oh, I'm so blind. But no, yeah, if I had to put H and Jeff into a category together, it would definitely be along those lines, because little rundown. H and Jeff are siblings, but I did talk to H about it before getting with Jeff.
We should plan an episode somewhere in season 2 where we just rate the people we know like throughout our entire life, like on a scale of like best people to worst people.
Oh yeah.
And we should like do it, like we should make a board about it and like get the names of the people we're calling them and stick them on the board and like debrief and talk about it. I feel like that would be such a fun episode to do in season 2.
Oh yeah.
Honey Crew, if you like that idea and you want to see that in season 2, comment down below and tell us. Yep.
But no, yeah. So Jeff and H were siblings, but H knew before I did that Jeff was interested in me. And
I feel like for him to be interested in you first, that like has to be like such a weird like wire in his brain.
Yeah, because now thinking about it, it's like, as a man, why are you interested in your little sister's friends?
Yeah, like why are you looking at your little sister's friends in that sort of way? Right.
Which it doesn't help about the fact that their father is a pedo.
Right.
And then mind you, their mom stayed with him.
Ooh.
Whole family full of weirdos.
Oh no.
Yeah.
No. At least we know now that that wasn't okay. Like we learn and we grow. It's okay. Like we've all got bad stories.
But yeah, so with Jeff, it was just a relationship of empty promises. Like,
I hate empty promises, dude. Empty promises like genuinely make me so freaking upset. Did I ever tell you the story about Baker with the second promise ring? Oh my gosh. Thank you so much. When I was with Baker the second time, because mind you, I was with Baker twice. I've gone over this with the Honey Crew before in past episodes. If you haven't seen those episodes, go watch those so you can catch up. But I did date Baker twice. And the first time I got with him, he got me a promise ring when we were only 3 months in, which looking back now, extremely crazy. If you're in a relationship and they do that, like genuinely run. Like I'm scared. Like don't do that. But the second time we were together, I was asking him if he was going to get me another promise ring. And he kept telling me, he was like, I don't see why I have to get you another one if I've already got one. Like just wear your old one. But it was like, to me, how can you say that when we weren't together for 2 years, and in the 2 year span we weren't together, you dated a whole nother female? But you didn't want to get me a second promise ring. And I had told him that, like, I didn't want one right away. I wanted us to be together for at least 6 months to a year before he would think about getting me one. And he fought me on that concept for so long. For so long, until our 6 month anniversary. And he was like, oh, for Christmas, I'm going to get you one. But then he was going to get me one. And then he was going to get me a Pandora bracelet because I really wanted a Pandora bracelet. I was always complaining that I wanted a charm bracelet. And he was like, oh, I'll get you one. And I was like, and then to me, it was like, okay, so you're saying you want to take care of me and you want to like afford the things that I like, right? But tell me why, when he was getting this Pandora bracelet, this man got it on Amazon and got all the charms as Amazon charms. None of it was like physically Pandora except for the bracelet. Mind you, this is the bracelet. I still wear this bracelet. Not because I'm in love with him, but because why would I put an $80 bracelet to waste when I can go put actual Pandora charms that I can afford that he can't? Like, and no, like, let me just put my own money into this. Thank you. But like that's another thing. Like, how can you sit there and be like, oh, I want to afford the nice things you want, but then you're gonna go and get off-brand knockoffs of what I actually want? Like, if you're broke and you don't want to give me what I want, like just say that. Because I never expected him to go out of his way and buy me expensive Pandora charms. I never expected that from him. Because mind you, he had just graduated. He didn't have a job. Why would I expect him to go buy something expensive for me? Like, I physically told him. Right. And I'm like,
he was waiting for his grandma to die.
Exactly. No, exactly. Like, you guys don't understand. When we were together and we were talking about like our future standing, everything was, we're going to wait until grandma's gone for us to go move out, or we're going to wait till grandma's gone because grandma's car is going to be your car. Like, why am I going to wait for your relative to pass away to get her belongings when you can just work to get me what I want? Like, if you want to be a provider, be a provider. Don't wait for your grandma's inheritance. Like, let's be so real right now.
And it wasn't even really like an inheritance for real. It was just more like,
oh, it really wasn't
for her to die so I can have everything hers that is paid off. Like,
exactly. Mind you, he wasn't even getting a majority of her assets. Like, her whole house wasn't even going to him. It was going to her stepson. And then she bought like a fridge and an oven to put in the house to replace, because her fridge and oven were really old. And when she did it, she was like, I don't care, because when I pass away, Baker can just rip it out and put it in his new house. Like, oh my lord. Continuing on with where we are in the Jeff story. Do you remember where we were at? The last thing you were saying was that they were siblings and empty promises, but that they were siblings. They were all family, empty promises. What were some of the empty promises that he had towards you? Just to list like a few. There may be many.
Well, so for one, I have this friend. So her name's Mia. Okay. And Mia's boyfriend has a problem with looking at other girls. And like getting off to them, right?
Ooh, right.
So one day, me, Jeff, and Mia are just sitting there chilling.
Right.
And she's like venting to me about her boyfriend.
Right.
And Jeff decides to put his 2 cents in and was like, oh, I don't understand how men could ever do that to their girlfriends. Yada, yada, yada. Like, that's so horrible. Like, you know, that's just unloyal. Just to turn around and do that every day.
Oh.
Yeah.
No, I genuinely fear that Baker was doing that behind my back because when I did try to go through his Instagram that one time and I was going into his liked history, he snatched that phone so quick. But the little peek that I did get, I saw like 4 different posts that were nothing but big black girls' butts half naked. And I was like, oh, I know behind closed doors you're looking at what you should not be. But then he deleted the app and I was like, you know what? You're lucky.
So I'm sitting there and I'm thinking like, oh, maybe I finally found one that doesn't do that. Like,
Right.
wrong.
Wrong.
And so one day I'm sitting on my brother's couch and he goes to the bathroom and I'm on his phone but I'm not looking through it. I was on Snapchat and do you know those filters where you can put a picture behind you, like the green screen filters?
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's one of those and they'll pop up like it'll be like the filter and then it'll be like the little plus sign and then like 3 pictures. Right?
Yeah, from your gallery.
Uh-huh.
Right.
Pussy!
Oh
That was not mine.
my god. You're
I'm like,
joking. You're joking.
okay, so that's when I do go through that phone and I go into like his photos.
The gallery.
And I was like, oh hell no. So he comes out of the bathroom and automatically I confront him because bitch, bro.
Like, who are you playing with?
Yeah.
Right.
And so I was like, okay, so he kind of makes like a BS excuse, like, oh, I'm sorry, it was only one time, like I'll never do it again. Who are we kidding?
Right.
So it was just constant that I was finding stuff like that, like, and it would just make me mad because it's like, you sit here and you tell me, oh, I care about your feelings, oh, I promise I'll stop, I promise, and then you never do. And so I was like, okay, well, you're a weirdo, but I still put it past him. I was like, no, maybe one day he'll stop. Wrong. 10 months of that, mind you. And like it was horrible. Like it got to the point that I found out that he had an OnlyFans, not for him, of course, but to look. And so I deactivate the account, obviously.
Right, because like, why are you gonna have that when you've got a whole girlfriend?
And so then I found something called Fansly, and it's like an off-brand OnlyFans.
Oh my god.
But the thing with Fansly is it tells you the exact timestamps that you log in.
Oh boy.
Because at this point, I did think he stopped until he messed up because he made an email just for that, but he would sign out of the email and it wasn't saved on his phone. So I'm going through his phone one night and I see this new email, or so I thought. Wrong. No, he had it.
Right.
And I would see it be like new sign in, and I was like, what the hell? So then I found the Fansly through the email. So then I go into his actual Fansly account.
Right.
Bro, the timestamps was like 3 to 4 times a day. I kid you not.
Oh my god. Oh no.
Yeah. And so I was like, okay, so I wake him up in the middle of the night.
Right. Like, why wouldn't you?
Yeah. And I'm asking him, I'm like, what is this? And
right.
Like, again, trying to make excuses. It's just excuse after excuse after excuse. But again, colorblind to the red flags that I still state.
Right.
And one of like my this isn't good for you moments was when at this point I got an apartment with one of my friends. Yeah. T-Bart. So it was me, Jeff, T-Bart, and T-Bart's boyfriend.
Right.
And one day
I remember this because I think at this point was when I got with what's his face that I went and saw get graduated.
The one with the tattoo.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I find again him looking at girls, but this time it was only one. And so I asked him, I'm like, what is this? And he tried to tell me that it was one of his coworkers' girlfriends. And I was like,
Oh no.
Yeah, so then he goes to the bathroom and I'm kind of sitting there and I go and I look back at her profile and it says that she lives in Canada. So I'm like, okay, you're telling me you're driving every morning to go pick up your coworker
Who lives in Canada?
whose girlfriend lives in Canada? I'm like, bro.
You're lying.
Mind you, this was like a really like skinny white girl. I knew at the time that this coworker's girlfriend was like a heavier set Mexican girl.
Right.
So I'm like,
You're
okay.
lying.
Yeah, and so obviously I caught him out.
Right.
And he got mad at me and he tried to like walk outside. And at this point I'm like,
I hate
no,
when people
like,
walk away from an argument. Like, I hate that.
yeah, and so at this point I'm like, no, you're not about to walk out. And
Right.
so I go and I'm downstairs and I follow him. And this is a second empty promise was my dad used to lay hands on my mom. So I would never stand for a man that lays hands on women.
Right.
And so we're kind of arguing and he looks me dead in my face and says, get the F out of my face or I'm gonna hit you. So I tell
Cut
him,
the cameras.
I'm like, do it.
Ooh, right.
I'm like, do it then. Like, I would love for you to see the outcome of that.
As one would, right?
Yeah, and so he was like, kind of shakes his head in like a corny way. He's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry. I just blacked out.
Ew.
What
Ugh.
happened? And I'm all, boy, now you know dang well. You know dang well.
Right.
Like, she just sat there and threatened to hit me in my face.
Right.
And so,
like you're not having like a blackout, bro. Like this isn't like some sort of disease you're having. Like just own up to your actions.
Yeah, and so I was like, okay, and at this point I should have left. I should have, but you know.
Right.
So at this point I moved back in with my mom because T-Bart ended up beating my dog. So I went and I beat him. And then I
Right.
moved back in with my mom.
Right.
Because that's my baby right there. Like
Right. Nobody's messing with Coco.
Yeah, I will go to jail over my dog any day of the week. I don't care. So to find out that my best friend at the time was beating my dog behind my back, I wasn't having it. So I got off work, I beat his ass, and he bounced.
Right. As one would.
Yeah, so at this point we're back at my mom's. And it got to the point that he was getting like very aggressive, but it wasn't necessarily laying hands on me. Like he would hit the walls around me and stuff like that. But coming from somebody who's witnessed multiple abusive relationships, that's normally how it starts.
Right.
You know, it'll start with threatening to hit you, but then hitting the wall right next to your face. Like,
right.
And so it got to the point that I was kind of scared of him. You know, I was like, oh, like, and so my final straw with him was I caught him looking at girls again. So I decided to go stay with thing 1 and thing 2 for a couple days. But the reason I decided to go stay over there for a couple days was because in the middle of our argument, he started throwing stuff at me.
Oh no!
Like he threw the puff and like just kind of anything that he could find around it. And
Ew.
I was like, yeah, no, I'm not having this. So I go to thing 1 and thing 2. And eventually we end up breaking up while I'm over there. So he goes, moves back in with his mom, whatnot. And then I go in like her again. Like, yeah, because we had broken up. And
were you like single long before you got with Michael?
No.
Really?
Yeah, me and Jeff broke up in August. And well, no, me and Michael didn't get together until September.
Okay. So like
a month.
Maybe less. Depending on when in August. And when in September.
And it was probably like half of August. So I give it like 2-3 weeks.
Right.
But obviously I had known this man since.
Right.
You know.
Right. Exactly.
And I was still talking to Michael like for a good 3 months into the relationship with Jeff.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because like I was interested in Jeff, but I was more interested in the attention that he was giving me originally. Like it wasn't like I was like, oh, I like this man, let me get with him. It's like it was more of like, oh, I like his attention.
Like you like that he was making more effort than Michael was at the time.
Not necessarily, but it was just kind of like
it was just like, was it like more like it was just a relationship to be in?
Yeah, it was kind of just like a, oh well, why not type of situation.
Just for the plot.
Yeah. So So then we ended up breaking up, and then yeah, I got with this
I think that is a good note to end on. And with this topic, I think our experiences have been quite a roller coaster with what we've gone through on this topic. But what I take from it is just like, don't put effort in people that aren't showing you the same consideration. Like if you're going out and you're checking on somebody, but they don't check on you, like just don't even put time into that. That's my takeaway. What's your takeaway?
to not ignore those red flags, because I promise you that if somebody is already kind of showing you their true colors, don't ignore it, because it's never gonna change. No matter how much you think, oh no, like maybe they do care, but whatever. Like no, I promise you, they do not.
Like don't mistake orange for red.
Pretty much. Like
Exactly.
call who calls you,
Right.
text who texts you, like
Exactly.
visit who visits you. Like don't continue draining your energy for somebody that wouldn't do the same.
Exactly. Like you want to be in a just because community. You don't want to be in a community that is only around you when they're getting something out of it.
Yeah, like if somebody's reciprocating the same energy you are, go for it. But obviously, if they're not, they probably never will.
Exactly. And that is all we have for you today, Honey Crew. We hope you have a blessed day, a lovely day. Keep being bright and colorful and keep being amazing honeys like you are. Have a wonderful day, and we'll see you in the next episode.